For 2 years, I tried not to buy this tree. Too expensive, too dangerous. The repot alone would become a disaster. But this pine had something rare. It already felt like a bonsai, refined, but still wild. So eventually, I cracked. In this video, we're going to style this Pinus sylvestris Yamadori and explore what makes Scots pine such a special species for bonsai. How to work with its natural movement, its ruggedness, and its quiet elegance. As you can see, the entire root base runs diagonal from one corner to the other. Honestly, it's probably the worst possible setup for a repot. But with the right technique and a little bit of patience, it can be done. That, however, deserves its own video. As you can see, this tree has a very classical movement, but also these extra trunks with a much more natural feeling. So I'm still deciding how far I want to push it toward the traditional design. I also want to keep some of that wild character alive. So first I'm going to wire the secondary trunk and see where it leads us. When cleaning a branch, we usually aim for a staggered pattern. Left, right, left, right. This distributes the foliage better and helps create those soft fan-shaped pads. At the same time, I'm always looking at the strength and health of each branch or branchlet, choosing the ones with best movement, vigor, and ramification. Another important principle is going from 3, 4, or 5 branches to 2. We always need a bifurcation. Whenever we have a triple junction, we reduce it to a bifurcation to keep the structure clean and natural. And finally, we always chase taper, thick to thin. This section becomes too heavy and loses proportion, but luckily there's a thinner transition point here that I can cut back to. And this is how a branch should look after cleaning. We also need to make room for the wire and make sure that the foliage density is balanced throughout the tree. That way I can clearly assess the structure and redistribute the energy more evenly. So yes, I'm removing a few old needles here, but this is not something you should do every time or every year. I only do this during an initial styling or when I really need to reassess the pads and the density of the tree. If you overdo this, year after year, you'll weaken the pine. Older needles play an important role in the tree's health, hormone regulation, and nutrient storage, especially calcium and potassium. When I look at the line from base to apex, the tree feels just a little bit too tall. Near the top, the taper starts to disappear and the movement becomes less convincing. The apex also feels slightly too long for the proportion of this tree. So I'll start by reducing the obvious excess first, but I may shorten it further later on, once the overall design becomes clearer. When wiring heavy plated bark like this, you have to be extremely careful. Make sure the wire is anchored properly and always hold the first turn very tightly, because the wire will want to slip. And when applying the wire, try to work in straight movements rather than twisting curves around the bark. Otherwise, you can easily start stripping pieces of the bark away. This branch emerging from the smaller trunk is going to become a very important branch in the design. Together with the movement of the main trunk, it will help define the overall direction of the tree. So what I'm trying to do here is echo the movement of the main trunk in this branch, not completely copy it, but create a similar rhythm and flow. That visual connection is what will make the composition feel whole and unified. At this point, I had two choices. I could create a rounded apex now and enjoy the illusion of a finished tree, or I could follow the line of the trunk further upward and slowly grow a better apex over time. Near the top, the taper had started to fade and the movement lost its clarity. By cutting back, I can create more movement and the tree will have more taper. The apex may feel sparse for now, but bonsai is never built for the present moment. We shape trees for the future. Scots pine needles become significantly shorter and denser at higher elevations, not just because of harsher weather, but because the trees physically slow their vascular flow to conserve energy. That's one of the reasons high elevation Yamadori often naturally resemble bonsai long before they're collected. In all honesty, I should have stopped here. The movement was already there, the direction was good, but because this became a video, I changed my mind. I started thinking too much about the image of a finished bonsai, instead of the future of the tree itself, so I pushed further than I should have. The apex I'm about to make will look fuller, more complete, more satisfying in the moment. Sometimes our human desire for completion becomes louder than the tree. We want answers too quickly. We want the image to feel finished before the tree's ready. But bonsai doesn't reward impatience. The best trees are usually the ones that were given time to remain unfinished. That being said, I still love where this design is going. The structure is there, the movement is there, and the feeling of the tree is still very much alive. It will only take a year or two to grow out the apex and soften a few transitions. And with some small refinements over time, I honestly think this tree could become something very special within 4 or 5 years. Thank you for following Bonsai Lab and supporting the journey. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, it genuinely helps the channel grow. But if there's one thing to take from this tree, it's this: not every decision should be made for the present moment. Sometimes the strongest design is the one you resist finishing too early. Because in bonsai, what you leave undone is just as important as what you can create.